It's Old School 106.7, Papa Smurf coming to you live from the Convention Center here at Coca-Cola Presents the Essence Music Festival. And I've got a money-saving lady with me. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm well. My name is Tiffany, the Budgetnista, and I'm a financial educator.
Yes, indeed. So once again, the Budgetnista.
If you were to tell me 10 years ago, when I was 26, that I'd be speaking at Essence Fest, I would have called you a liar. Because how? At age 26, I was teaching preschool and enjoying it in Newark, New Jersey. And I dreamed definitely of doing something beyond myself, but I didn't even know what that was. Being a woman of color, an entrepreneur, natural, and like dark skin. So there's so many things that, don't necessarily work in my favor, quite honestly. Not even just as an entrepreneur, but an entrepreneur in a financial space. This financial space is largely dominated by white men. That's just how it's been. And so when I first came in, people didn't understand, well, who are you and how can you speak to this, There are certain moments in life where you look back and say, how did I get here? Honestly, speaking at Essence Fest was a bit surreal. My journey started 6 years ago in my publicist Dreena's tiny living room on her couch in Linden, New Jersey. She and I were talking about our dreams and how we wanted to do so much more than what we were already doing. At the time, I was an ex-preschool teacher living off of unemployment, trying to figure out my next move. Dreena was an unhappy production manager at a large advertising agency in New York City. I wanted to create a financial education firm that would help thousands learn how to master their money, the Budgetnista. Dreena wanted to start her own boutique PR firm, Wit PR. That day, we started our journey together. I became her first client, and she became one of the first people to ever believe in me and my dream. Over the years, we have grown side by side. Dreena has grown into a powerhouse publicist, and I've grown into a national brand with the largest social media following of any African-American woman in the personal finance space. We've been working tirelessly together on our businesses, and I can remember the first media placement she ever got me. It was one line in Essence magazine. You have to understand, Essence magazine is a magazine that I grew up reading cover to cover every single day that it came out in high school. We were both so excited that we had that one line framed and plastered it all over social media, zoomed in nice and close. You couldn't tell us anything. After getting my one line in Essence magazine, I secretly fantasized about speaking at Essence Fest. Essence Fest is one of the largest music festivals in the world, attracting upwards of 500,000 people every single year to New Orleans. My dream to speak seemed impossible, so I didn't tell anyone. Then about 3 years ago, I mentioned it to Dreena, and she made it her mission to make it happen. During those 3 years, Dreena pitched me to Essence over and over and over. I know they must have been sick of her. She secured me interviews, panels, live chats, everything you can think of, but no Essence Fest, until this year. When we landed in New Orleans, where the festival is held, we kind of just looked at each other and felt the magnitude of the moment. All those long nights and endless rejections had laid the foundation to one of the biggest yeses in my life. Truthfully though, I could not have done this without my team, which not only includes Dreena, my publicist, but my business partner Jabril, my COO Sierra, my admin Sylvia, my social media admin Danita, and a host of other supporting team members and vendors that I use over and over and over. In the beginning, I was my only team. To see how large the Budgetnista has grown, really it's because I have help now. The moment we arrived, we knew why Essence Fest was here in New Orleans. The energy can't be really put into words. There's so much soul here. You can taste it in the food, you can hear it in the music, you can see it in the architecture, and you can feel it in the people. New Orleans is soul. The crazy thing is, not only was I invited to speak at Essence Fest by Essence themselves, but Ford and Prudential invited me to speak for them too. I spoke each day of this festival, which is so surreal. when just a minute ago, I couldn't get someone to get me to speak for one day. It's just starting to soak in just how much my brand has grown a lot in the last few years. Although so much has changed, so much has stayed the same. When I first started, Prudential was the first major brand that believed in me. They have a team of amazing women there that invested in me before I had millions of views on my videos. Ford is a new partner, but equally as committed to teaching financial education to women. It means a lot to me to see companies like Prudential and Ford at Essence Festival. They believe in the value of community and they put their money where their mouths are. This year, Essence decided to strengthen their commitment to financial education by creating a new dedicated stage to it, the Money and Power stage. And they had Uber influencers like Karen Civil as a host and moderator. This was their first year doing this, and I could not have been happier to do my keynote on that stage. Oftentimes, brands shy away from talking about money. It's typically a hard topic to discuss in public settings. One thing I pride myself on is taking the fear out of finances and for my ability to take the complexity out of the process. My motto for money management is simple and soon. My years as a school teacher have given me the skill set necessary to help women go from a space of unsure to empowered when it comes to their financial lives. Essence Fest was an awesome reminder that my work is actually working. Throughout the festival, I ran into my dream catchers. They each shared amazing stories of how I helped them to save, buy a house, recover financially from a divorce, raise their credit, and pay off debt. You might be wondering, what's a dream catcher? Well, it's my community, my tribe, my girls. Beyonce has the Beehive, we are the dream catchers. A dream catcher is any woman that I have helped along her financial journey. She may be on my email list and receive weekly financial tips. She may have taken a class or seen me speak at an event. Many dream catchers have taken my Live Richer Challenge. The Live Richer Challenge is a free online resource I created to help these women achieve their financial goals in a supportive community. There are nearly 200,000 dream catchers in over 100 different countries. Over 100,000 of these dream catchers participate in our private Facebook group. There, they receive free assistance, accountability, encouragement, and resources 24/7 within a private, safe environment. When you start my Live Richer Challenge, you get an invitation to join our private group. You are the reason I started this journey. You are the reason I created the Live Richer Challenge and the Dream Catchers. It is my intention that you have everything you need to succeed financially. Don't hesitate. Sign up for the Live Richer Challenge via the link in the description and join us, the Dream Catchers. We're your sisters and we're waiting to help you. The one thing that drives me to share all these resources is this. I have made every financial mistake possible. At one point, I lost my job, my home, completely wiped out my savings and my retirement account, and destroyed my credit all within 1 year. So many of you are in a similar position. I know how scary, shameful, and overwhelming it feels. So once I changed my circumstances, I vowed to come back for you, and I have. Speaking at Essence Fest was an extension of my promise to help you. It was humbling as well, because while a few people might have come to see me, the Budgetnista, there was no shortage of star power. Everybody from Kendrick Lamar, P. Diddy, Tracy Ellis Ross, T.D. Jakes, Sierra, and the list goes on and on. It made it even cooler that I had my face on a column outside the convention center right next to some of the biggest names in the world. Truthfully, one of the biggest perks of being a speaker was the access, being backstage. I ran into celebrities, titans of industry, power brokers, influencers, and CEOs of some of the biggest companies in the world. It was a great networking event as well as being super fun. Although I came here as a speaker, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something I needed to hear. I just didn't know exactly what that was. Then I found out that Oprah was speaking for the first time at Essence. Yes, Oprah. Somehow, Dreena made a miracle happen and got us VIP tickets a few hours before she hit the stage. I nearly lost my mind. I know it's cliche, but Oprah really touched me in a way that no one else did that weekend. The biggest lesson I took away from her talk was this. When you are in alignment with your purpose and you share your gift generously, honestly, and lovingly, the impossible is made possible. My life is a testament to her words. Now that Essence Fest is over and I've had time to reflect, it feels good knowing that I'm helping to bring about real change in a community that's largely ignored by the financial industry, women of color. My goal is to change that, one woman at a time. Because when you teach a woman, you teach a family. When you teach a family, you change your neighborhood. When you change a neighborhood, you transform a community by creating a movement of tangible change that positively affects generations to come. This is the reason why I started the Live Richer Challenge, to not only empower you to change your own financial life, but to give you the tools necessary to help someone else change their financial life as well. There's a link in the description. If you click on it, you can begin to change your financial life through the Live Richer Challenge right now. I just really want to thank Essence and Ford and Prudential for giving me the opportunity to share my movement of personal financial education. I had an amazing time. I started my journey to fix my own finances. Then, as Oprah shared, I aligned myself with my purpose and began to share my gift generously, honestly, and lovingly. As a result, the seemingly impossible has been made possible.